I do sometimes feel like a clown when Israel bombs and kills 500 people in a day, and my solution is like, read a book about it. But the truth is, Empire is counting on those of us in the West to not give a shit about Lebanon or know anything about it. We're just supposed to see the whole Arab world as kind of a blurry, brown, scary terrorist factory. You're not supposed to care about them bombing Beirut the way you would care about them bombing Paris. But through the magic of literature, the city of Beirut can become as precious to you as Paris without you even having to leave your house. So book friends, we are dropping everything, reading Lebanese books this week, and thwarting Empire in the process. All the books on this list are about Lebanon, set in Lebanon, by Lebanese authors with one exception. Now, if you don't have a lot of time this week, pick up a graphic novel. A Game for Swallows, To Die, To Leave, To Return shows 24 hours sheltering from bombing during the Lebanese Civil War as experienced through the eyes of children. I know a lot of you only read audiobooks, but so many of these titles are not available on audiobook because of racism in the publishing industry. Those rights aren't getting sold, but I found one for you. The Beirut Hellfire Society. This is a novel. An undertaker's son secures secret burials for social outcasts amid the Lebanese Civil War. For those of you willing and able to read with your eyes, here are some history books to pick up. For recent history, Lebanon, A Country in Fragments is a comprehensive view of Lebanon in the 21st century. For understanding the Lebanese Civil War, our one non-Lebanese author I'm going to recommend, but this book has been recommended to me by so many of my Lebanese followers when I was trying to understand the Lebanese Civil War, is Robert Fisk's Pity the Nation. Beirut is a crash course in the history of this ancient city, going from Seleucid, Roman, Arab, Ottoman, and French incarnations through the present day. My fellow anti-Zionist Jews might be particularly interested in The Jews of Lebanon, Between Coexistence and Conflict, which presents the history of this once vibrant, thriving community, dispelling the Zionist myth that Arabs and Jews have always been at each other's throats. For medieval history, the title is pretty self-explanatory. Check out The Crusades Through Arab Eyes. A World I Loved, the story of an Arab woman, shows the author's life in Lebanon under the oppressive French mandate and her desire to forge an Arab identity based on religious tolerance. We learn of the difficulties that she overcomes to become the principal of a school in Lebanon. And in final heartbreaking detail, we watch as her world becomes rent by the Palestine question, Western interference, and civil war. Resistance, My Life for Lebanon, is the memoir of a 20-year-old woman who attempted to assassinate the general in charge of Israeli-controlled southern Lebanon and was imprisoned and tortured as a result. Understand why this woman risked her life to rid her country of occupying forces. Teta, My Mother and Me, 3 Generations of Arab Women, is a memoir touching on one calamitous event after another, from the devastating post-World War I famine in the Levant through the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and up to the Lebanese Civil War, explaining how the lives of women shaped and were shaped by each of these events. In novels, y'all know I'm a big fan of Rabi Al-Emadine. I loved his novel Kool-Aids, but for this list, I've chosen the Hakawati because it seems to be the most focused on Lebanese history. And so in this book, in 2003, Osama al-Karat returns to Beirut after many years in America to stand vigil at his father's deathbed. As the family gathers, stories begin to unfold. Osama's grandfather was a Hakawati, or storyteller, and his bewitching tales are interwoven with classic stories of the Middle East. The story of Zara. Fleeing from Beirut in search of solace, Zara stays with her uncle in West Africa and then uses marriage as another kind of escape. Back in Beirut, love finally comes to her, but with terrible consequences. Banned in several Middle Eastern countries since its original publication, the story of Zara is an intoxicating, provocative story of a young woman's coming of age in a city torn apart by war. Gate of the Sun is a classic of Lebanese literature. Khalil holds vigil at the bedside of his patient and spiritual father, a storied leader of the Palestinian resistance who has slipped into a coma. As Khalil attempts to revive him, he begins a story which branches into many stories of the people expelled from their villages, of the massacres that followed, of the extraordinary inner strength of those who survived, and of love. Finally, Between Beirut and the Moon, Adam dreams of becoming an astronaut, but who's ever heard of an Arab on the moon? He battles with his father, a book-hoarding journalist with a penchant for writing eulogies, his closest friend Basil, a Druze who is said to worship goats and believe in reincarnation, and a host of other misfits and miscreants in a city attempting to recover from years of political and military violence. Y'all, all those books sound so good. I don't know which one to pick. So tell me in the comments, which ones are you thinking of picking up? Which ones do you want to see me pick up this week? If you are a book talker or book influencer, or you work in a small bookstore, or you're a librarian, please make this a drop everything and read Lebanese books kind of week. Please spread this message, steal my list, make your own content about it. And let's really show the world that we care about Lebanon, we care about the city of Beirut, it can be precious to us, and we care about Lebanese literature. Now watch this video one more time through so you can make your TBR, boost engagement, and comment which books you want to see me read.